There's a lot to think about when creating an online course. There's everything from design, content flow, how it's packaged, and the overall result that you're intending your students to walk away with. Now, I love consuming content through online courses and personally purchase anywhere from 5 to 20 per year depending on what I want to learn. In saying that, I've been able to see a lot of very well done courses as well as some not so well done courses. And that's why today we're going to be going over the 4 big mistakes I see coaches make when creating an online course in hopes of you avoiding them. And don't forget to stick around until the end because I'll be sharing my favorite online course resource that will have you creating and launching your online course faster than you ever thought possible. I'm KellyAnne Zielinski, and I help online coaches build profitable coaching businesses by creating, monetizing, and scaling their genius in signature programs, online courses, and other digital products. And that's why I care so much about helping you avoid mistakes that could potentially cause your students to either ask for a refund or leave a less than positive review or not complete the course due to confusion or overwhelm, or even worse, not receive the result they anticipated when they joined. So if you're in the process of creating a course, or if you've already created a course, go ahead and take a look at these 4 mistakes to make sure that your brand has the best online course experience possible for your students. Online course mistake number 1, using unedited videos. Coach, people are purchasing your course to save themselves time. The last thing you want is to waste their time by not editing out irrelevant content from your videos. Now, here are some things that I've seen that have wasted my time in the online courses I've purchased. First, watching a recorded Facebook Live where the host spent the first 8 minutes calling out names and welcoming viewers. That was completely unnecessary for me to see in an online course. Next, watching a recorded Facebook Live where the host had tech issues for literally 17 minutes. Then watching a pre-recorded training where the coach went off on this irrelevant rant and then apologized for it later on. And then finally, I've seen countless videos where the coaches were, gathering their thoughts, or they lost their train of thought, or they had a million ums or knows. All of these were super distracting to the content they were actually trying to get across. And the point here is you always have the opportunity to edit your videos and audios so that it creates the most impactful on-brand experience for your audience. So if you want your students to stick around long enough to get results, it's important to create distraction-free videos that allow them to get in and stay in that impactful energy. All we have is time, friends, so don't waste it for people. Online course mistake number 2, no supporting materials. Now, when someone purchases an online course, they anticipate more than what they can find for free online. This typically includes a full scope of fluff-free content that's in an order of importance, as well as opportunities to apply what it is that they're learning so that they can create long-lasting change. That's why the best online courses I've seen include support materials like fillable workbooks, journal prompts, tutorials. I've seen done for you calendars, challenges, Trello boards, and other opportunities to create an internal and external shift. Now, the goal for each of your online course modules is for your students to combine a knowingness, a doingness, and a beingness that will ultimately shift how they show up and interact with their world differently. The support materials are one of the main pieces to this puzzle that makes it all work, because without them, your students are sort of left hanging with content and no way of grounding it. Online course mistake number 3, sloppy packaging. Coach, everything you do is part of your brand experience. Proper packaging can make or break someone receiving results and purchasing from you again. Sloppy packaging can look like not having your course in a solid online course platform or learning management system. And if you're thinking that it's too expensive, there are free and very reasonably priced options out there. Or you can click here and learn about Kajabi, which is the online course platform I use. It could also look like not having any kind of branding or unique design elements. So with resources like Canva or Fiverr.com, there's really no excuse at this point to not have at least the basic design elements in your online course. And finally, it can look like accessibility issues. So if your course is in a Google Drive folder or on a platform that you haven't really done proper research on, your students may have trouble accessing the content, which is a big problem. Overall, your job is to make learning and applying your content an easy and simple experience, because this is how your students are going to get results and become your greatest ambassadors. Online course mistake number 4, no next steps. This one baffles me because by the end of an online course, I'm typically feeling super inspired and ready to keep taking action. Wrapping up an online course can be a super awkward process if you don't know what you're doing. Now, I've seen courses end abruptly when it felt like there was more to be said. I've seen others briefly share what the student could continue to do or what they could do next, but it didn't really have like a solid offer or solid steps. But I'll tell you, the best online courses have the final next steps lesson. Now, this is a brief lesson that wraps up what they've accomplished and then outlines the exact next steps they'll need. This typically includes an offer that has a solid step-by-step that will help them accomplish whatever that next step is. So be sure to keep in mind as you're creating your online course that you'll need some sort of like next step as your course begins to wrap up. And you could even talk about it in previous lessons. And whatever you do, just don't leave them hanging at the end there. Now, I did want to mention a bonus mistake, which is no email campaign. If you don't have an automated email campaign set up for after someone enrolls into your online course, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. An online course email campaign is used for things like checking in to be sure they've logged in and they're staying on track, or you can use it to remind them about support resources like forums or Facebook groups, or commenting below training videos if that's where you're doing some of your community building. You also can use emails to ask for a testimonial once your course is complete. And lastly, you'll of course be wanting them to know about your next steps, aka your next offer. Now, without an email sequence set up, you're missing out on an opportunity to build that relationship and community. So be sure to not forget this really important step. Okay, so now you know the 4 big mistakes and the bonus mistake that coaches make when creating an online course. And hopefully, if you've already created an online course, you don't have too much that needs to shift. As promised, I wanted to share a resource I created called Online Course Simplified because there's so much more to learn about creating and selling well-done online courses. This is going to walk you through not only mapping out and building the curriculum for your online course from scratch, but also the process you need to sell it, whether that's by having an evergreen course or an open-close cart dates, or even selling it as part of a group coaching program. So go ahead and click the link in the description below to check that out now. And lastly, if this video was just what you needed in your coaching business, please let me know by liking it below, subscribing, and sharing it with your coach friends. Until next time, coach, keep building your empire.